Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the TheGameHuntah channel with another episode Clash Royale, and in this episode let's talk about the new balance changes that are coming in the game in a few more days. Number 1, Royal Giant hit speed decrease from 1.5 seconds to 1.7 seconds. It doesn't sound like it's that much, but trust me, it's gonna make a difference, especially for those advanced players that have the Royal Giant in their deck. I don't think they're gonna be able to use this guy that much now. That hit speed decrease is quite substantial, even if it's only 0.2 seconds. The second is the zap, because the stun duration got decreased to 0.5 seconds from 1 second. It's half. This is a big one, but you're still gonna be able to use the zap like I just did in crowd control situation. For example, with the Ice Wizard. Zap, Ice Wizard, still a good combination in the game. Now here comes one of the big ones, the Princess. Area damage radius decreased by 25%. By 25%. So we won't see that Princess as a sniper now, because now the Princess needs to be a little bit closer to the tower. Okay? In the past, well, there's so many decks. We're really not gonna get into details. But for example, you have the Giant attacking one of the towers. You can easily put the Princess far, close to the bridge, sniping the tower from distance, and it's so difficult to stop. So this change, the decrease in range by 25%, it's big. It is big. Now, my favorite card, the Ice Wizard. Hit points decreased by 5%. I guess it's fair. I guess it's fair. The Ice Wizard, I still believe, is the best legendary card. And it was funny because I've been using the Ice Wizard a lot as a tank. Because the Ice Wizard can actually survive one attack of the mini Pekka, for example. But now with this decrease in hit points, I think things are gonna get a little bit more fair for people who doesn't have legendary cards. Now this is another big change. The miner, the deploy time increased by 1 second from 0.7 seconds. So from 0.7 seconds to 1 second, it's probably not that big, but also it suffered a hit point decrease by 6%. 6% decrease in hit points. I believe it's substantial. I believe it's substantial because one of the combos that I was using a lot is deploy the miner and then use the Hog Rider to continue attacking a tower, for example. The miner can definitely take the hit, and in the meantime, I can use my Hog Rider to continue doing damage and taking care of business. So all those changes are quite remarkable. Baby dragon hit speed increased to 1.6 seconds from 1.8 seconds. That's gonna probably bring back one of my favorite cards in the game. Baby Dragon hit speed increased to 1.6 seconds. It's gonna be interesting. This is definitely gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna affect the game. Again, it's only 0.2 seconds different, but wow, this is gonna be interesting. We definitely need to have a deck using Baby Dragon once the changes are deployed for everybody and give it a try. Because, like I said, it doesn't sound like it's done much, but that 0.2 seconds can definitely make a difference. The Dark Prince damage increased by 7.5%. 7.5%. What does that mean? Are we gonna see one more time the Dual Prince? Probably the Dual Prince deck. I think the Dual Prince deck is coming back. Probably Pekka and Dual Prince deck. That give you an idea? I think so. We can definitely try that once that we have the new changes in place. We also have the bowler. Elixir cost decreased to 5 from 6. That is another interesting change. But also, the hit points decreased by 7%. And the damage decreased by 10%. Okay, so now it's cheaper to deploy the bowler, but it's not as effective. It's not gonna be like a tank like it used to be. That is an interesting one. I keep reading it, the big change in the bowler. I know it's gonna be doable now to use the bowler in your deck, but decreasing the hit points and decreasing the damage, I think it's huge. That's my personal opinion. Lumberjack speed increased to very fast from fast. Hit speed increased to 0.7 seconds from 1.1 second. And the damage is decreased by 23%. A lot of changes in the Lumberjack, guys. A lot of changes. I think the Lumberjack was already fast enough, so I'm not really sure if I'm happy with that change. The hit speed increased to 0.7 seconds. It's good. It's good. It's definitely good. But the damage decreased by 23%. Again, we definitely need to start playing a little bit more with all these cards that are receiving changes. And by the way, I'm gonna organize, I believe, that Clash Royale tournament probably this Tuesday or something like that. So stay tuned to the channel. We're gonna organize Clash Royale tournament every week if it's possible. Let's continue with this Lumberjack. I'm in shock. I'm in shock. Another one, the log. Because you have to respect the log. Cast time decreased by 66%. That's a lot. And travel speed increased by 20%. Wow. You gotta respect the log, fellas. Travel speed increased by 20%. That's gonna be like a motorcycle, man. It's definitely gonna be like a motorcycle. That is crazy. That is crazy. But you know what? You have to respect the log. Now, we also got the Golem. The Golem hit and death damage increased by 5%. The hit point increased by 1%. Well, 1% the hit points probably is not that much, but hit and death damage increased by 5% is definitely interesting. Are we gonna see more Golem decks? I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure. Not only Big Daddy is suffering some changes, the Golemite is suffering hit and death damage increase by 8%. 8%. Big Daddy 5%. Little Golem 8%. And the hit points increased by 3.2%. Okay. So I can definitely see the Golem coming back. And again, this is one of the reasons that I love so much Clash Royale, because with each of these balance changes, they completely change the game. People start changing decks, people start changing strategy, and that's why they call balance changes. We also have the Pekka, because Miss Pekka damage increased by 5%. That was one of the reasons that make me believe that the deck that have the Pekka and the Dual Prince is probably coming back. You got some big changes in there. I mean, Dark Prince, damage increased by 7.5. And also we got the Pekka with damage increased by 5%. I like that. I like that. I mean, the Pekka is one of my favorite units. I love it, just as a character. So now if I'm gonna have a chance to use this tank even more often in my deck, I love that idea. Any day. The Tombstone is also suffering some changes. Spawn speed increased to 2.5 seconds from 2.9 seconds. Also interesting. I like to use the Tombstone a lot to counter, for example, Sparky. And if it's going to increase the spawn speed, that sounds really good. That definitely sounds really good. So let's analyze the changes, like in general. Decks that we're gonna see in place, like I mentioned before, Dual Prince, Pekka, probably is gonna come back. Maybe Lumberjack, Hawk Rider. I can see that happening. Also, we can see the Hawk Rider and the Log working together really well. Golem definitely is gonna make a comeback. I haven't seen that many Golems lately, but increasing the hit and death damage from both the Golem and the Golemite, I think it's big. I think it's big. The Bowler, not really sure about that. Not really sure about that. Still, the decrease in Elixir cost is good, but decreasing the damage and the hit points, it's kind of painful. It's kind of painful. One of the most popular decks, high-level decks that you see in the game, are the three legendaries: Miner, Princess, and also Ice Wizard with Zap. And I think we're gonna continue seeing those decks. The Zap change is not that big. The stun, of course, it is, but the damage doesn't get it doesn't suffer any changes. So we're definitely gonna see the Zap in place with the Miner, Ice Wizard, and Princess. But it will be interesting to see the role of the Princess now, because with the decrease in the radius by 25%, that is big. That is definitely big. Super important to figure out a way how we're gonna use the sniper. That was one of my favorite things to do, to put the Princess close to the bridge with the Valkyrie, so that way I can protect her for a few seconds, and maybe put the Giant or any other tank in front to take care of business when I have the Princess in the back attacking the tower from distance. So there is many big changes in this new patch. I hope we can create some different decks and participate with these cards in future tournaments. The tournaments that are going to be organizing really soon are going to probably have these decks in... Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing that. That's a good idea. We're going to create decks using the cards that are suffering changes, and let's see how that works. Yeah, that would be interesting. Okay, so stay tuned to the channel, fellas. I think the first tournament is going to be tomorrow, Tuesday. So stay tuned. GameHuntah channel, signing off, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.